Previously on 24 Station Street.
And dude, that point, I'm sorry to say, fuck The Rock, you know? I went out of my way to do this stuff for him, and it felt like I'm getting blown off.
D'Lo, welcome into the studio. Welcome to the podcast.
What on earth is this?
Matt Towers?
Number 9, Hulk Hogan.
Oh, come on! I didn't think I'd have to interrupt the show again, but clearly I need to. Number 9, this is disrespectful to the man we know as the Immortal One, Hulk Hogan. I got no street. It's going down. Sure. What's that?
Who is Christy Hemme?
Oh my gosh.
I told you it was tough. Welcome everybody to another edition of 24 Station Street. Last week we focused on the WWE. This week we're going to focus on TNA in the early 2000s when they were rising and legitimate threats to WWE. My special guest tonight is the Hall of Famer Gail Kim. We also have a top 10 knockouts list of all time. And we found out about the plight of Pete Pitts. It's not a good story. I'll tell you about it on the other side when Jonathan gets here.
Bar Wisdom, Station Street, Chattanooga, Wrestling Raps, Hip Hop Mania, whole team strong. Shout out Sahadi, JG, big ups.
Buy the ticket! Take the ride! Hey, David. Is Pete okay?
I don't think so, John. Somebody sent me a video today. It was a little disturbing. I'll show it to you right now, okay?
Okay.
It is not even the beginning of the end.
The grapple, that's what is really important for you.
Oh, wait a minute!
You're just a young kid. What are you doing here? You ought to be out bird dogging chicks and bang either. What are you doing here?
It is perhaps the end of the beginning.
Was that AI doctored?
I think somebody has some fun with that, John. But
Okay.
You know what? We love Pete. It's no laughing matter. Pete, I hope you get well. Hope you rejoin us soon.
Pete's always welcome here. I hope he gets better. But you got a chance to actually sit down with me and talk about the infamous Barry Scott.
Yes.
The probably most renowned voice of TNA Wrestling ever.
Yeah.
What like working with him?
It was phenomenal. And he was more than just a talent, John. He was a dear friend. I did a special tribute on him. And let's play that now.
Yeah.
This is TNA, the new face of professional wrestling.
That voice you just heard is the iconic voice of Barry Scott. That 10-second ID you just saw was the first thing I ever produced when I joined TNA back in 2004. Barry would become the voice of TNA for nearly 20 years, and his voice on the first ever opening for Victory Road in 2004 brought the founder, Jeff Jarrett, to tears.
There comes a time when people get tired.
Even if you didn't see his face,
Over by the iron feet of oppression.
if you heard his voice, you were a better person.
It was a voice that demanded attention, a voice filled with passion, love, and life. Barry Scott was an acting legend in Nashville.
Barry could have achieved national acclaim or even global fame if he chose to, but he chose a higher aspiration. He chose to mentor and inspire children of color to become better, to mentor them, to inspire them, to help them evolve. He inspired so many people, myself included.
He pushed so many of us toward making ourselves better than we thought we could be.
Scott brought many characters to life on the stage, lending his voice for commercials and spoken word.
I'm your host, Barry Scott.
But many know Scott as the voice for TNA and Impact Wrestling, a role he did for many years. But it was his work behind the curtain that his friends say they'll remember the most.
Barry's reputation was for excellence. It was for being a visionary. It was about building institutions. It was about empowering and enabling, particularly artists of color.
5 years ago this week is the very last time I got the pleasure of working with Barry Scott. 3 months later, he would pass. Barry was more than just a voice, a mentor, and an inspiration to me. Barry was a dear friend, and that's more important than anything in life. I miss you, Barry. Your spirit still inspires me today, 5 years later. And the memories we share together, the joys and the laughs, are indelibly etched in my heart.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Backstage Pass. Again, we have the great David Sahadi here. My man. Just a few questions. We're moving along the timeline of the early 2000s to the TNA days.
Yes.
How was it like there? And first off, before I even go there, why did you leave WWE in 2003?
John, when I joined WWE, they were like low. They were like going on a free fall, and they hit rock bottom. And myself and a few others helped build that company back up during the Attitude Era. And then once it got built up, really big, it just became very corporate. And everything I did became stale. They wanted to take myself that was an R to a G. And I used to be able to talk to Vince McMahon, but then I had to go through many layers, before I could talk to Vince McMahon towards the end. And it just lost its fun. It lost its edge. And that killed my creative spirit. So I decided, you know what? Something's gnawing in my heart to say leave. So I left. I just went on a sabbatical for 1 full year.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know how long I was gonna be gone for. I said I needed just to get away, and 3 months became 6 months, became 1 year.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
What did you do while you were on your sabbatical?
Oh, dude, I traveled cross country twice.
Oh,
it was
shit.
awesome. I saw so many great things, met so many wonderful people. I actually wrote a book, Last Call of the Gods. My very first book
Last
ever while I
Call
was
of the
there.
Gods, for
I wrote
sure.
that in North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I really didn't know that.
Hot Springs,
Wow.
North Carolina.
Wow.
And I was like, it was a year in, and I'm watching my bank account go, woo! Down. Woo! And you know what? I didn't care.
Back to the TNA days. You won 27 awards there. Tell me more about that.
Well, John, they're awards for creative excellence, and that's an amazing number. Nobody's even come close in winning that many. And back then when I won them, it was validation. Validation of what I was doing, who I was, and my creativity.
I bet.
Yeah. Now, 20 years later, it's good memories. It also reminds me that, guess what? Dreams are still possible. At any age, you can always become something, whatever you want to be. We're doing this new TV show, this sitcom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so dreams never die.
What made you come over to TNA in the first place?
It's funny, John, because I told you I was taking that sabbatical cross country, and I get a phone call from Jeff Jarrett. Mr. Sadi, how you doing? I said, Jeff, I'm doing great. He goes, I hear you're taking a sabbatical. I said, yep, it's been about a year. He goes, hear you're traveling all over the country. Yes, I am. Have you been in Nashville yet? No, not yet. He goes, come by Monday, let's have lunch. I said, Jeff, if I ever get back into television, it's not gonna be wrestling. He said, just come to Nashville, we'll talk and let's see what comes out of it. So I went to Nashville and I met Jeff, and dude, I saw the passion that he had. He wore it on his sleeves. He loved this vision so much, and he needed help getting this thing started. So they were shifting into doing monthly pay-per-views. And I decided to join them for 3 months, no more. It was awesome, dude. It was tremendous. I love the energy of the people there. Yeah. And again, it's like they were floundering. I like building companies, just like I did in WWE, building that company. I wanted to build TNA. And my 3 months was up, we did something called Cookie Gate, John. The infamous Cookie Gate, which is really a nothing burger. And WWE got so pissed at me. And they knew they couldn't get back at me. So how they got back at me was by hurting my father. Somebody said, let's get Sahadi where it hurts the most. Let's fuck with his father. And they took away my dad's monthly paycheck, John. He was getting Legends paycheck that was $3,000 a month.
WWE Legend check?
Yes, and that meant everything to him, John, with his finances. And to get back at me, they hurt my dad. I'm sorry to cuss, but when you fuck with my father, you're fucking with me. So my 3 months was up, and they did that. I said, Jeff, how'd you like me there full time? He said, I would love it. I said, good. I'm gonna start Monday, and I'm gonna get your TV deal. And in 4 months we did. We got a TV deal with Spike. And then we had a great rise.
Oh, I
in
remember Spike
2000s.
TV.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Oh,
Yeah,
I remember
no.
Spike TV. I remember those days. But yeah, go ahead.
John, we were doing so well in the early 2000s. We got to a point where 2008, 2009, we're getting 1.6s in the summer, 1.6 rating. And that was unheard of. And W was really scared of us because we were true, legitimate competition. But then Jeff got neutered by Dixie Carter for certain reasons that have to deal with Kurt and Karen. And everything's happy and, wonderful right now. But when Jeff kind of got taken off the creative team, it just fell. We had the Main Event Mafia. Do you remember them?
Yes!
Yeah.
Wow.
And dude, when Jeff was gone for that while, boom. Everything just cratered. Wow. It was sad, yeah.
Well, again, those more days, so much to take in. TNA was definitely a part of me, of course, just like WWE. Big shout out to the dashing Chris Bay. Yeah. Get better, my man.
Yes, Chris. Prayers for you.
For sure. Always on my heart. And all let's. But the thing is, we come to MLW.
Yeah.
How is it like the transition from TNA to MLW?
To them?
Yes.
Well, John, it's kind of like the same thing was at WWE and with TNA, and they're on the rise. And I like building companies, not joining one that's already up there high.
Yeah.
And so I helped build WWE. I helped build TNA, and now I'm going to help build MLW. And we have a lot of exciting things that are happening in MLW right now. I cannot talk about them. I signed an NDA, but we are going to be a very big force in the months to come. It's exciting.
I don't doubt it.
It's exciting. I love building again. So
yeah, because we're here. The label's here, my man. We're here, my man. We're here, my man. But again, thank you guys for tuning in to Backstage Pass yet another time. Again, can't tell you how much we appreciate you all. Y'all have a good evening.
John, you're good at this. I think we should just once a week. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe once, maybe twice a week. Something like that.
Oh, yeah. Why not? Yeah,
we'll do
crazy.
it.
Yeah. Thank you all.
My man. See you guys.
If you don't want to speak it, say it on your shirt. Bar Wisdom presents an irreverent collection of bold tees that are witty, wry, and sometimes offensive. But you don't care. Go to barwisdom.co and click on apparel to see our unique collection of t-shirts, caps, and more. Oh, and there's even a Bar Wisdom book, too. Be bold. Be you. Get your merch today. barwisdom.co.
Welcome everybody to Beyond Squared Circle. And tonight's guest, well, she's an A-lister. And that speaks for itself. Let's waste no time and bring in Miss Gail Kim. Gail, how you doing today?
Hi, Dave. How are you? It's so good to see your face again.
Good to see your face too. Yeah. And that's the reason why we're doing this podcast. I just want to see you and say hello. So goodbye. That was it. That was all.
That's it. Bye. That was great.
Yeah. Gail, how old were you and what was the moment that drew you into professional wrestling?
Oh my God. I think, everyone, when they become a wrestler, obviously everyone says that they were a fan of wrestling. I think we're all fans of wrestling, no matter what part or position that you're in the company or in the world. So I watched it as a kid, just like everyone when they watched the Hulk Hogan, British Bulldog, Bret Hart days, and then after that, I fell out of it. And then I was changing the channels one day in college and I got sucked in by the women's wrestling because that was the time that they started having, the Trish Stratuses, the Jazz, Molly Hollies of the world, they were starting to have real women's wrestling and I fell in love. And I was just fortunate enough to make it in this business so quickly and I don't know how, and I wasn't ready, but it all worked out.
How it's called talent. And that's a perfect segue to my question. I wanted to make sure I had this right, so I wrote it down.
Yeah.
You were the inaugural and record-setting 7-time TNA Knockout Champion and a WWE Women's Champion as well. Yeah. That's amazing. And then I read that somebody said that you're one of the greatest performers in women's wrestling. And I'm like, that's bullshit. She's number one. I mean, who's better than Gail Kim? She's one of the best. No, you are the best.
You know what I love about pro wrestling? It's subjective. Like everyone can have their own opinion. And like, even for me, when I was wrestling, everyone thought of me as this wrestler girl who loved the sport of wrestling, which I did. I loved a great match. And, as you grow within this business, you realize that there's so many facets of this business that are great. The storytelling is ultimately what everyone remembers. So it's like the wrestling is great, but it's just a part of it. And, everyone that watched wrestling as a kid, we have memories from way back. And those are the ones that stay with us 20 years later. And I think that's what resonated with me, really, is the characters and the storytelling. And the wrestling just helped it all. And obviously, that's what got me in the business, was the sport of wrestling.
Yes, but why do you retire in your prime? You deprived us of so many great matches, Gail. You were in your prime and you retired.
I don't know if those are my prime. Okay, so I did care about my legacy so much that when I couldn't walk after matches, literally couldn't physically walk.
Wow.
And people like, say, Christy Hemme, who is my best friend in the business, saw me breaking down behind the scenes that fans did not see. And so she said, hey, if you want to retire, we should start planning it now. And I remember saying, whoa, I'm not ready for that talk. And I think I got angry because it's something that I think any athlete would struggle with is, wow, you don't think about retirement when you're entering this business and chasing after your dreams. And when it happens at a snap of a finger, it feels like your career's near the end and it's like, okay, what am I going to do next? Because athletes, your careers normally end, if you're lucky, when you're middle-aged, right? Like me. I was in my 40s, in my mid-40s, pretty much almost close to that. And so it took me 2 years from that point where Christy said, hey, we should start thinking about it, for me to actually pull the trigger on it. And I asked myself the question, actually, what do I want to accomplish next? And I couldn't answer that question, Dave. Like, I really didn't have another goal. I was like, okay, I got Hall of Fame by that point. So that was the icing on the cake. And of course, what every wrestler dreams of. So when that happens, and I knew I wanted to produce, so I at least had a general direction of where I knew I wanted to go. And I asked Jeff Jarrett, hey, can I start producing? And he said, yes. I'm a very lucky girl for that, because not everyone gets those kind of positions offered to them. And so I guess it was easier for me to be able to do that, but not everyone gets to close their own door. And that's a very rare thing in this business, to be able to have peace when you retire. And so I consider myself very lucky and very grateful.
Any hobbies, Gail, outside of wrestling?
I don't have another love. I've just focused myself so much on wrestling, but I think it's healthy to have an outside world, other things to do. And, that's why I'm so grateful, for example, that I have a husband that's not in the business, because I have friends that are not in the wrestling world, and it gives you a sense of balance, that there is an outside world, because you kind of get stuck in this bubble sometimes.
Yes. 2 more questions.
Yes.
First one's tough, okay?
Okay.
I'm warning you, it's tough.
Ugh.
Who is Gail Kim?
That is a good question. I'm a fighter self, so I think I am on this earth to be this. I hate fighting because it sounds so aggressive in a way, but I'm a fighter. That's all I've done my whole life. And it's a double meaning. I'm actually a fighter, but I'm a fighter in life too.
I love that answer. And most people don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
When I ask them, they're like, let me think about that for a second.
Yeah,
so good for you.
It's a very deep question.
It is a very deep question.
Make you self-reflect. Like,
yes.
who am I?
Yeah, and self-reflection is important at times. We need to know where we are right now, where we came from, and where we're going in the future.
Yes.
And that tells us who we are.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my last question. What do you see Gail Kim doing 10 years from now?
Oh, wow. That's such an open question.
Yeah.
I'll be 58. I was thinking maybe by that age I'd be retired, but I see how my husband was at 58, and he just doesn't stop. If anything, he went harder. And I heard this one quote from a guy on a trip that we just went on for Christmas vacation. And he said something about how my husband always keeps so busy. We're always so busy. And he said, yeah, because when you rest, you rest. And so I was like, oh, I've never heard that term before. You know what? I don't want to rest. I know I will be chasing after and fighting for those dreams that I want to accomplish. And I've been very lucky to be able to accomplish already one dream that I had. So it really wrestling has really taught me, I sound very cliche, but that I can accomplish anything that I really want to. I've accomplished more in wrestling than I ever dreamed of. I really have. And, you know, the things about the WWE maybe not having the career I had hoped for there, but I always tell fans to this day when they tell me at signings, like, oh, WWE did you wrong and everything. You know, now that you can look back, I would never have accomplished anything in my career if WWE never treated me that certain way or used me in that certain way. I wouldn't have gone after TNA. I wouldn't have been like, I need to prove women's wrestling actually is what people want, you know? I had to do that. And then now it's, I never thought that to this day now, WrestleMania would be headlined by women and main eventing. And that's all I ever wished for when I entered this business. And I never thought in my lifetime of being in my career that I'd be able to witness it. Everything has been more than I dreamed of, yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, Gail, thank you for spending some time with us and thank you for being on the show. I love you. I miss you. Can't wait to see you again soon, okay?
Okay. Big hugs, Dave. You're the best.
No, you're the best. You're there, right there. You're the best. Bye, Gail. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks.
Walk into any bar, restaurant, distillery, or brewery, and chances are you are walking into a new adventure. The invigorating aroma of hops and hope, the intoxicating mixture of libation and conversation create an environment where barstool philosophers, comedians, historians, content creators hold court, and bar wisdom flows like wine.
Here's the Mick Ultra. There's no Mick Ultra here!
Bar Wisdom TV, where every hour is happy hour.
Tonight's Top 10 list is sponsored by Sugar Smacks. Smack me, and I'll smack you back. By Rheingold Extra Dry Beer. And by Circuit City, where service is state-of-the-art.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is our top 10 knockouts of all time. And the criteria is that they had to be a world champion and be with TNA for at least 2 years.
Okay.
So world champion and TNA for at least 2 years. Here we go, kick it off.
Yeah, I know I have my pick.
And now, the top 10 TNA knockouts of all time. Number 10, Taya Valkyrie.
Longest reigning TNA knockout of all time.
377 days.
Number 9, The Beautiful People.
The tag team.
I know, but Angelina Love won like the knockout title 7 times.
Well, why'd you just include her?
I had a bit of a crush on Velvet Sky, that's why.
Okay.
This moment is like...
Number 8, Madison Rayne.
5-time champ as well.
Good call.
Number 7, Taryn Terrell.
She revitalized the knockouts division, so good for her. She deserves that. She had an epic feud with Gail Kim in her first game.
Number 6, Mickie James.
Oh, come on! Thought I wasn't gonna have to interrupt this week, but it looks like I'm gonna have to do it again. Number 6 for Mickie James. Are you kidding me? When you first told me this topic, I was thinking, who could be number 1? Who's in the top 3? And I was putting Mickie in all those different spots. Arguably, could be the number 1 knockout of all time. But for me personally, she deserves to be a lot higher. Why? Because she does my favorite thing. She sings her own entrance song. Let me hear it. Give me a little hardcore country.
Number 5, Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong.
Oh, scary.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We'll give it 1.
Unbeatable, yes.
Number 4, Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace, a dominant force, 3-time knockout champion, and she helped revitalize that division in the 2000s.
Number 3, Tessa Blanchard.
John, she was so dominant that she actually competed in men's division in intergender matches and became the first and only female to win the world heavyweight title.
Number 2, Gianna Perazzo.
she's actually the most technical wrestler I've ever seen. I absolutely love her form and technique.
Agreed.
And number 1, Hall of Famer Gail Kim.
Gail Kim, I mean, that was unanimous in every single poll. No doubt about that, by far, good old Gail Kim. We are recording.
Welcome everyone to another edition of 24 Station Street. Today we special...
My man!
Oh yeah!
Can you hear me, Christy? My man, get pumped up for this, okay? Get pumped up. 5, 4, 3, 2, stop!
I am the Prince of all Saiyans.
I am the King of all Saiyans!
Which is one thing I want to ask you, Christy.
Christy, you keep on calling me Christy. Gail.
I'm starting this again. Wait, today.
Gail Kim.
Yeah, Gail Kim.
Believe what we got, Gail Kim.
Jeez.
You
Last time.
Right on the stage right
Stop.
before.
It sounds much like the beginning.
Sorry, I thought we were doing it again.
No.
Sorry. So back to TNA.
Let me join.
You won.
If I hear, sorry, go ahead about the awards. I'm sorry.
Back to TNA. Yeah. Back to TNA 4, for sure. You won 27. 27. I am the Prince of all Saiyans!
I am the Prince of all Saiyans!
So again, we're going into the TNA aspect, and we're into 2000.
Welcome back to this past, right? Yeah.
I'm looking right here.
Yeah.
All right, welcome you guys. Just read it. All right, one more time. Go ahead.
I am the Prince of all Saiyans!
Can you hear me, Christy?